It's 2 a.m., and I'm sitting in my apartment staring at my phone, scrolling through 6 months of Instagram stories that I was deliberately excluded from. 6 months of group hangouts, inside jokes, shared experiences, and memories that my supposed best friends made without me. 6 months of lies about being busy, having family obligations, needing to work late. 6 months of me thinking I still had a solid friend group while they were actively cutting me out of their lives. My name is Chris. I'm 27 years old. And 3 days ago I discovered that the 5 people I considered my closest friends in the world have been systematically excluding me from their lives since last September. And the way I found out has left me questioning everything I thought I knew about friendship, loyalty, and my own worth as a person. I need to give you context because this friend group has been the center of my social life for almost 6 years. We all met in college. Me, Jake, Marcus, Ben, Sophie, and Amy. We were randomly assigned to the same dorm floor freshman year and just clicked immediately. You know how sometimes you meet people and it just works? That was us. We became inseparable. Throughout college, we did everything together. Study sessions that turned into pizza parties. Road trips during spring break. Late-night conversations about life and dreams and fears. We even lived together junior and senior year in a rundown house off campus that we called The Fortress. Those were some of the best years of my life. After graduation, we all stayed in the same city. That's actually pretty rare. Most college friend groups scatter across the country for jobs. But we all found work here and made a conscious decision to stay together. We were proud of that. We'd talk about how special it was that we managed to keep the group intact while everyone else's college friendships faded away. We had standing traditions. Sunday brunches every week. Game nights twice a month. An annual camping trip every summer. Group chat that was active literally every single day with memes, plans, random thoughts, everything. We weren't just friends, we were family. Or at least I thought we were. About 6 months ago, I started noticing small changes. Nothing dramatic at first. Just little things that didn't quite add up. Jake would mention a new restaurant and I'd ask when he went, and he'd get vague. Oh, just grabbed lunch there the other day. But then Sophie would reference the same restaurant and make a joke about something that happened there, and Jake would laugh in recognition. It felt like they'd been there together. But why wouldn't they have invited me? Or Marcus would reference a movie, and Amy would say, "Oh my God, that part was hilarious." And they'd both laugh about a specific scene. I'd ask when they saw it, and Marcus would say, "Last week, I think." But I'd ask the group chat if anyone wanted to see that same movie when it came out, and everyone said they were busy or had already seen it. Small things. Easily explained away. I told myself I was being paranoid, reading too much into innocent coincidences. But then the Sunday brunches started falling apart. We'd had Sunday brunch together almost every week for 4 years. It was our thing. But suddenly people kept having conflicts. Sophie had family visiting. Ben had to work. Amy wasn't feeling well. Marcus had a thing. Jake was out of town. First it was one person, then 2. Then suddenly we couldn't get everyone together for weeks at a time. When we did manage to meet up, it felt off. Conversation was stilted. People seemed distracted, checking their phones constantly. The easy flow we'd always had was gone. I brought it up in the group chat once. "Hey, feels like we haven't all hung out in forever. Miss you guys. Let's make brunch happen this Sunday for sure." The responses were enthusiastic but vague. "Yes, we definitely need to." "For sure, I miss everyone." "Let's do it." But when Sunday came around, there were excuses again. And the brunch didn't happen. I started suggesting other activities. Movie nights at my place. A new bar that opened downtown. Trivia night. Every suggestion was met with, "Oh, that sounds fun," followed by reasons why people couldn't make it. Always individual reasons, never a collective, "We can't do this." The group chat stayed active, but I noticed I was doing most of the initiating. I'd send memes or funny stories and get a few responses, but the constant flow of conversation had slowed. Sometimes I'd send something and get nothing back for hours. Then I'd see people were active in other chats because their status would change. I told myself everyone was just busy. We were all working adults now, not college kids with unlimited free time. People had relationships, work obligations, other friends. It was natural for things to change as we got older. But deep down, I felt it. That sinking feeling that something was wrong. That I was losing my friends, and I didn't know why. I tried harder, planned more things, reached out individually to people. "Hey man, wanna grab a beer this week?" I'd text Jake. "Can't this week, work is crazy. Rain check?" He'd respond. Same with Marcus. Same with Ben. The girls too. Sophie and Amy were always busy, always had other plans, always suggested, "We should hang out soon," without ever committing to actual plans. Game night died completely. No one could make the dates I suggested. The camping trip we'd been planning for summer got postponed, then quietly canceled. When I asked about it, everyone said they might not be able to get the time off work. I felt like I was going crazy, like I was the only one who cared about maintaining our friendships. But whenever I brought it up, everyone reassured me. We're just busy, man. Nothing's changed. You know we love you. I believed them because I wanted to believe them. Because the alternative, that my closest friends were pulling away from me, was too painful to accept. Then came 3 days ago, the day my entire understanding of the past 6 months came crashing down. I was at Target, just doing regular shopping, wandering the aisles, throwing stuff in my cart, completely zoned out. I turned down the home goods aisle and nearly ran my cart into someone. "Oh, sorry," I started, then stopped. It was Amy's sister, Rachel. I'd met her a bunch of times over the years at various gatherings. "Chris." "Hey." She seemed surprised to see me, maybe a little uncomfortable. "Hey, Rachel, how are you?" "Good, good. Just grabbing some stuff. How are you?" We made small talk for a minute, then she said, "So are you excited about tonight?" I blinked. "Tonight? Yeah, the dinner thing? At Jake's place?" She looked confused. My stomach dropped. I might be mixing up the days. What time was it again?" Rachel's face changed. She realized something was wrong. 7, I think. Amy mentioned it yesterday. But maybe... She trailed off, clearly uncomfortable. Right, I said, trying to play it off. I've been so scattered lately. Anyway, good seeing you. I left my cart in the aisle and walked out of the store. Sat in my car and pulled out my phone. Checked the group chat. Nothing about dinner at Jake's. Checked individual messages. Nothing. I went to Instagram and looked at Jake's story. Nothing current. Looked at Marcus's. Nothing. Sophie's. Nothing. They'd all gotten better about hiding things, I realized. Or maybe I just hadn't been paying attention. I did something I'm not proud of then. I created a fake Instagram account. Used a random name. Grabbed a generic profile pic from Google. Started looking through my friends' profiles from this anonymous view. And that's when I saw it. Sophie's story, posted 4 hours ago. A picture of everyone at Jake's apartment. Jake, Marcus, Ben, Sophie, and Amy. All 5 of them. Sitting around his living room with food and drinks, clearly having a great time. The caption, "The crew back together." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I scrolled back through Sophie's stories. There, 2 weeks ago, a picture of brunch. All 5 of them at our usual brunch spot. 3 weeks before that, a group photo at a bar. A month before that, a picture from someone's apartment with everyone squeezed on a couch. I checked Marcus's profile. More evidence. A month ago, all of them at a movie theater. 2 months ago, a hiking photo with everyone. 3 months ago, game night at Ben's place. I kept scrolling back. September. That's when it started. 6 months of regular hangouts, all without me. 6 months of my friends maintaining our exact same traditions and social patterns, just without including me. The group was still intact. They still had Sunday brunch. I could see it in the stories. They still did game nights. They still went to movies together. They were still a close-knit friend group doing all the things we'd always done together. They'd just quietly removed me from the equation. I sat in that Target parking lot for over an hour, scrolling through months of stories, piecing together the life my friends had been living without me. Every story was a knife. Every photo of them laughing together, having inside jokes, making memories. It was proof that they didn't need me, that they were better off without me. And the thing that really killed me? They looked happy. In every photo, everyone was genuinely smiling and laughing. They weren't pretending. They weren't forcing it. They were having a great time together. Without me, I drove home in a daze, got to my apartment and just sat on the couch staring at nothing. My mind was racing through every interaction from the past 6 months, recontextualizing everything. All those excuses about being busy? Lies. They weren't busy. They were hanging out together and deliberately not inviting me. All those canceled plans? Lies. They didn't want to make plans with me. All those reassurances that nothing had changed? Lies. Everything had changed. My best friends, people I'd known for 6 years, lived with, trusted completely, had collectively decided to cut me out of their lives. And they hadn't even had the decency to tell me to my face. They just slowly ghosted me while maintaining enough minimal contact to keep me from realizing what was happening. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about why. What had I done? Was there a specific incident that turned everyone against me? Had I said something offensive without realizing it? Was I annoying? Had I violated some friend group rule I didn't know existed? I mentally reviewed every interaction from the past year, looking for the moment where things went wrong. But I couldn't find it. There was no big fight, no dramatic falling out, just a gradual distancing that I'd tried to ignore until the evidence became undeniable. The next morning, I decided to confront Jake. He'd been my roommate junior and senior year, my closest friend in the group. If anyone would be honest with me, it would be him. I texted, "Hey man, can we talk? Are you free for coffee today?" He responded an hour later. "Sure, everything okay?" We met at a coffee shop near his apartment. Jake showed up looking slightly uncomfortable, like he suspected what this was about. We ordered coffees and sat down. I decided to just be direct. "Jake, I know about the dinner last night, and the brunches, and game nights, all of it." His face went pale. "Chris, Don't," I interrupted. "Don't lie to me. I've seen the Instagram stories. I know you've all been hanging out without me for months. What I want to know is why." Jake looked down at his coffee, silent. "Come on, man. You owe me that much. Just tell me why." He sighed heavily. There's not one specific reason." "Then give me the non-specific reasons. Help me understand why my 5 best friends decided to ghost me." "We didn't ghost you," Jake said defensively. "We still talk to you. We still hang out sometimes." "You hang out with me occasionally out of obligation while maintaining your actual social life separately," I corrected. "That's not the same thing." Jake rubbed his face with his hands. "Look, I don't know how to say this without it sounding terrible. Just say it. Things changed after college. We all grew up, got jobs, started figuring out our adult lives. And you kind of didn't?" I stared at him. "What does that mean?" "You're still living like we're in college, man. You still want to hang out all the time. Still treat the friend group like it's the center of your universe. The rest of us have moved on. We have significant others, career goals, other friends. But you're still trying to make every Sunday brunch happen and planning group camping trips like we're still living in the fortress. So you all decided I'm too pathetic to hang out with?" I felt anger rising in my chest. "Because I actually valued our friendships?" "It's not that you're pathetic," Jake said. But his tone suggested he kind of did think I was pathetic. "It's that hanging out with you started to feel like work. You'd get upset if plans fell through. You'd make comments about how we never see each other anymore. You'd try to force hangouts when people were clearly busy. It was a lot. So instead of talking to me about it, you all just decided to exclude me?" "It wasn't that organized," Jake said. "It just kind of happened naturally. Someone would suggest brunch, and we'd all be there except you. And it was easier, more relaxed. And then it kept happening." "For 6 months," I said. "You all actively excluded me for 6 months and none of you thought to mention it?" Jake looked guilty. "We talked about it a few times, whether we should say something. But honestly, it felt like it would hurt you more to tell you. And things were working fine the way they were." "Working fine for you," I said. "Meanwhile, I've been sitting at home wondering why my best friends keep canceling on me, thinking I'm losing my mind." "I'm sorry," Jake said. "Really, I am. We should have been more upfront." "Who decided?" I asked. "Who was the first person to suggest cutting me out?" Jake hesitated. "Does it matter?" "Yes. I don't remember exactly. I think Sophie maybe mentioned that you were being kind of intense about group hangouts. And Amy agreed. And then we all kind of realized we were all feeling the same way." "So it was unanimous," I said. "All 5 of you agreed I was too annoying to include anymore." "Chris, come on." "No, that's what happened. Be honest. You all talked about me behind my back and agreed that your lives would be better without me in them." Jake didn't deny it. We sat in silence for a minute. I felt numb. Hearing it confirmed was somehow worse than suspecting it. "So what now?" I asked. "Do I just accept that our 6-year friendship is over?" "It doesn't have to be over," Jake said. "We can still be friends. Just maybe with better boundaries?" "Boundaries," I repeated. "Is that what you call excluding someone from your entire social life? Boundaries. I don't know what else to call it," Jake said helplessly. "How about honesty?" I suggested. "How about telling me to my face that you don't want to be friends anymore instead of stringing me along for 6 months?" "We do want to be friends," Jake insisted. "Just not the way things were. We need space to have our own lives." "You could have had space," I said, "if you'd talked to me about it. If you'd said, 'Hey Chris, we need to scale back the group hangs. We're all busy with other stuff.' I would have understood. But instead you all just cut me out and lied about it." Jake didn't have a response to that. I stood up. "Thanks for finally being honest, I guess." "Chris, wait. I'm done," I said. "Enjoy your dinners and your brunches and your game nights. I won't bother you anymore." I walked out. Got in my car and drove around for hours, not going anywhere in particular, just driving. That was yesterday. Since then, I've gotten texts from everyone. "Sophie, Jake told me you guys talked. I'm so sorry, Chris. Can we meet up and talk about this?" "Marcus, hey man, heard you found out about everything. Want to grab a beer?" "Amy, Chris, please don't be mad. We handled this badly, but we do care about you." Even Ben, who I'd always been closest to after Jake, sent a message. I feel terrible about how this went down. You deserve better from all of us. I haven't responded to any of them. What would I even say? I've been going through the stages of grief at lightning speed. Denial. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe there's another explanation. Anger. Fuck all of them for lying to me for months. Bargaining. Maybe if I apologize for being too intense, we can fix this. Depression. I've lost my entire friend group and I don't know how to cope. And now I'm somewhere between anger and depression, unable to land on a single emotion. The worst part is questioning everything. Was our friendship ever real? Were they always just tolerating me? When we lived together in college, were they annoyed by me even then and I just didn't notice? Were all those great memories and inside jokes and bonding moments genuine? Or was I always the odd one out and too oblivious to see it? I keep thinking about specific moments from our friendship and seeing them in a new light. Times when everyone laughed at something and I didn't quite get the joke. Were they laughing at me? Times when plans changed last minute. Were they making alternate plans without me even then? Times when I thought we were having a great time. Were they secretly wishing I wasn't there? It's like finding out your entire past was different than you remembered. Like someone reached into my memory and twisted everything into something ugly. And the self-doubt is crushing. Jake said I was too intense. That I treated the friend group like the center of my universe. Is that true? Am I so desperate for friendship that I suffocate people? Have I been doing this my whole life without realizing it? I don't have other close friends. I have work acquaintances and college classmates I'm friendly with on social media. But this group was my core. They were the people I called when something good happened. The people I'd text when I was bored. The people I assumed I'd have in my life forever. And now they're gone. Not gone physically. They're all still here in the same city, living their lives. But gone from my life. The friendship as I knew it is dead, even if they're all still friends with each other. I keep looking at old photos. Pictures from the fortress, spring break road trips, graduation day, Halloween parties, camping trips. Everyone smiling, arms around each other, looking like the perfect friend group. Were they already planning to phase me out in some of these photos? Were there already private conversations happening about how annoying I was? The group chat has been quiet since yesterday. Usually there would be constant activity. Memes, plans, random thoughts. Now it's silent. Everyone knows I know, and nobody knows what to say. Part of me wants to send a long message explaining how hurt I am, how betrayed I feel, how they should have been honest with me. But what would that accomplish? They already know. They just didn't care enough to handle it better. Another part of me wants to pretend none of this happened, to respond to their texts and accept their apologies and try to salvage some kind of friendship. But how do you come back from this? How do you trust people who proved they'll lie to you for months? How do you spend time with people knowing they secretly find you annoying? And the biggest part of me just wants to understand why. Not the surface reasons Jake gave me, that I was too intense or whatever, but the real reason. Why wasn't I worth the effort of an honest conversation? Why was it easier to exclude me than to work through whatever issues they had with me? What made them all unanimously decide that their lives would be better without me? I've been replaying our last actual group hangout in my head. It was about 2 months ago, one of the rare times when everyone was available to meet up. We got dinner at this Mexican place we used to go to all the time. I remember thinking something felt off. Conversation was stilted. People kept checking their phones. When I tried to reminisce about college memories, everyone kind of politely laughed but didn't engage. The dinner ended early. People had places to be, things to do. I remember driving home that night feeling sad but telling myself we were all just busy, just stressed with adult life. Now I realize that was them going through the motions. They'd already been hanging out without me for months at that point. That dinner was probably an obligation they all dreaded. Was I annoying at that dinner? Did I try too hard to recreate the old dynamic? Did I talk too much or laugh too loud or bring up the past too often? I can't remember anymore. I'm second-guessing every word I said, every story I told, every joke I made. This morning I went through my social media and removed everyone from my close friends list. Unfollowed their stories. Didn't unfriend them completely. That felt too dramatic. Too much like admitting defeat. But I couldn't keep seeing their lives, their hangouts, their happiness without me. I also realized I need to make new friends. Which sounds easy in theory but feels impossible in practice. I'm 27 years old. Making friends as an adult is already hard. Making friends when you're emotionally devastated and questioning your own likability is even harder. How do I even do that? Join a sports league? Take a class? Hang out at bars alone hoping to strike up conversations? All of that sounds exhausting and terrifying, and I don't have the energy for it. I've also been wondering if I should move. Leave this city and start over somewhere new. But that feels like running away. Plus, I have a good job here. an apartment I like, a life I've built. Why should I be the one to leave when they're the ones who betrayed me? But staying means inevitably running into them. This city isn't that big. I'll see them at bars, at restaurants, at the grocery store. I'll see them together, laughing and having a great time, and I'll have to smile and pretend I'm fine. The thought is unbearable. My mom called yesterday. I usually talk to her every week or so, and I'd been avoiding her calls because I knew she'd immediately sense something was wrong. But she kept calling, so I finally answered. Sweetheart, is everything okay? You sound off. I'm fine, Mom. Chris, I'm your mother. I know when you're not fine. And just like that, I broke down, told her everything. About the exclusion, about finding out, about the confrontation with Jake. She listened without interrupting, and when I was done, she was quiet for a moment. Those people aren't your friends, she finally said. Real friends don't treat each other this way. But we were friends for 6 years, I said. That has to mean something. It does mean something, Mom said. It means you wasted 6 years on people who didn't value you, but now you know. And you can move forward. I don't know how to move forward. One day at a time, she said. You grieve the friendship. You feel angry and hurt. You process it. And then you find people who deserve you. Because Chris, you deserve friends who are honest with you. Who include you. Who choose you. I cried on the phone with my mom like I was a kid again. She offered to come visit, but I told her I needed time alone. She made me promise to see a therapist and to call her every day until I was feeling better. After we hung up, I thought about what she said. About deserving better. The thing is, I don't know if I do deserve better. Maybe Jake was right. Maybe I am too intense. Maybe I did suffocate them with my need for constant friendship and group hangs. Maybe the problem is me. I made a list today of all my flaws, things that might have driven my friends away. I probably do suggest hanging out too much. I get sad. When plans fall through, I reminisce about the past a lot. I don't have a serious relationship or many other friends I treat. My friend group like family, I expect people to prioritize friendship the way I do. I take things personally. I'm probably needy. Without realizing it, looking at that list, I can see why they found me exhausting. I can see why they'd want distance. The problem is, I don't know how to be different. I don't know how to care less about the people I care about. I don't know how to not take it personally when friends drift away. Maybe that's my fatal flaw. I love too hard. I invest too much. I expect too much in return. Or maybe the fatal flaw is that I can't read social cues, that I didn't notice when I was annoying people, that I kept pushing for hangouts when everyone clearly wanted space, that I was so focused on maintaining what we had in college that I didn't notice everyone else had moved on. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. It's late now. Almost 3 a.m. I should sleep, but I know I'll just lie awake replaying everything. The Instagram stories. The conversation with Jake. 6 months of lies. 6 years of friendship that apparently meant more to me than it meant to them. Tomorrow I have work. I'll have to pretend everything is fine. Put on a smile. Be professional. Not let anyone know that I feel like my entire social foundation has crumbled beneath me. And the day after that. And the day after that, eventually I guess it'll hurt less. Eventually I'll rebuild. Eventually I'll find new friends or learn to be okay alone. But right now, at 3 a.m., it feels like that day will never come. Right now all I can think is, my best friends secretly hated me for months and I was too stupid to see it, and I don't know how to come back from that. I don't know if I want to.